What's up, everybody? What's up? I'm Mr. Straight Facts. I'll be your host for this show. This show is called Straight Facts No Chaser podcast. We're going to talk a lot about after the election, post-election, and things that people have been saying and trying to get people to understand what was going on. If you saw me on any other platform, TikTok or whatever, I had a conversation with Touré X on TikTok or something. But I didn't have a conversation. We was going back and forth through video and text. And we were talking about the issues with, people who are pro-Palestine and those people who are having issues and stuff like that, talking about like we don't really want to help them anymore. Many people have said that on different platforms, and I get it. And I myself was educating people on why people feel that way. And you need to give them time to understand what's going on so that we can strategize and figure out like what these feelings mean. You have to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to this, understand we are not. Black people are not new to this. We're true to this. You see, we showed out in major numbers to vote for not just our rights, everybody's rights, women's rights. We voted for that. We voted for, people to have money to be able to buy themselves a home for the first time. Economics was one of the major pillars that we voted for. We voted for people to be treated fairly, whether they be black, white, whatever race, trans, gay, LGBTQIA+, just to be treated fairly, not superiorly, not, better than anybody else. Just let people live. Black people did that in a majority. And a majority of white people resoundingly said, fuck off. Not the people who necessarily follow me, but some, because I just put out a video. The last video I put out was called Be Heard. I have this Zoom meeting I'm setting up with people that are black only because I want to speak to my brothers and sisters about what they feeling right now. And I lost over 100 or so subscribers rather, since I put that video out. I'm not going to take it down because I don't want you in my circle if you ain't got my back fully. You feel me? Not because you have your little feelings and shit. You know what trips me out about people who say they down with you as long as you keep them in the circle of everything that goes down? Then you really aren't an ally or friend to begin with. You just want to be in the circle, but you don't want to put in the work. Now, when I said that I wanted to speak to black people only, it's because I wanted them to be able to say what the hell they feel without white gaze, without white judgment, so that they can be able to get it off their chest and start working toward a solution. It's pretty much therapy. But many of the people who left got pissed off because I didn't want you in the room, only because I want them to get over their pain because they don't know who to trust and who not to trust. A majority of white people voted against their own self-interest. And we're like, wow, what would make you vote against your own self-interest? I mean, white women are dying. Latin women are dying with these draconian laws toward them and their bodies. And you're like, you still went out to vote for the dude that said he was going to make it illegal that you go to jail if this stuff happens? Something ain't right. So a lot of people have been on social media, mainstream media. Hey, what's going on, Tammy? Misty Blues. But on mainstream media and literally saying it was about economics. You mean to tell me you care more about money than you care about your own body? I call bullshit. There's only one thing in this country that would get people to change their own rights, like care about something more than themselves, is when they hate someone else more. There is nothing else that moves a person other than the fact that they hate something else more, that they're willing to give up something that they love for themselves. There's no way you would give up your rights. Tell me you would give up everything of yours, everything you believed in, for what? It has to be something strong. And that strong is your hate for something else. Don't believe me. Let's just deal with facts. Let's just deal with facts. I've been on social media for about 5 years now, a little bit, like right, almost 5 years. It was in the pandemic era when it started. And I've been teaching about, my thing was called Black Brilliance on the B-Side. I was teaching people about Black brilliant people in American history because I grew up not knowing about my own history as much as I should have known. So when I started digging deep into the crates of history, I started realizing that racist white people devalued black people on purpose just so that most people who came into this country devalued us as well. See, if you make it look like a race is lazy and has done nothing, then it's easier for immigrants and other people to believe the same. Because all you got to do is keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it because they know most humans aren't going to read it. They rather hear it from somebody whom they think is powerful and that would not lie to them. And most of the time, those people have white skin. So people talk about, Latin people voted, so it can't be racism. Bullshit. Do you know on the census, Latin people can claim to be white? You know, when filling out a job application or getting a loan, Latin people can put out that they're white. Do you know that not all the time when you get loans do you have to actually see the loan person? You can literally get it online. You say that you're white, you can get a better deal. Do you know that if you have a house and you're trying to sell it and you are a black person, you can have your house devalued by hundreds of thousands of dollars just because you have black skin? That's in America today. I ain't talking about 1865. I ain't talking about 1965. I'm talking about 2024. And no matter how wealthy a black person you are, it can happen. It happened to D.L. Hughley, and he's a rich black man. They literally had white people put white faces all throughout their house just so they can find out if they got a devalue of their house. And they did. This has happened throughout the United States forever, for the longest time. And people want to tell us, don't talk about racism. It's not real. It's not this. Shut up. I'm tired of you saying it. Please, shut up. If you don't see what we just saw, then you blind on purpose. I spit facts, baby. I've been embedded. When I was younger, I got married to a white woman. I'm divorced now. 2 children. Her family, farmers. I was like 18 years old. I didn't know exactly what I was getting into, going to their farm, hanging out, stuff like that. These people professed to not be racist, but had nothing in common for me. I had something in common with them. I'm a fucking human. But for some reason, they had no things in common with me. Their family said they weren't racist. Didn't have a racist bone in their body. Yet, though, everything that came out their fucking mouth was a racist statement, and they didn't even recognize it. And you want me to believe white people know what racism is? This woman was nice to me, helped me. You would think that she just liked black people innately and just didn't have a racist bone in her body. She did not only have a racist bone toward black people, she had a racist bone toward Jewish people, and she didn't even know she had it. Or did she? And just didn't care. Let me give you an example of something she did. She went to some location with her husband where they were buying stuff that they can, like they were selling stuff at some kind of fair or whatever the heck it was, in a certain location where a certain group of people live. She went down there. She was buying all these different gifts and trinkets and so forth, and she was negotiating them down to certain prices. It's like, that's $10. Oh, can I have it for $4? Can I have it for $2? And she did all that shit, and she came back with this bag of shit. She set it down on the table. Look what I got. Look what I got. My black ass is in the house listening to them talk. And she said, and YouTube, this is not me. This is just my example of reality. She literally said in front of me, it wasn't about my race, but I don't care. It was wrong to say. And I looked around in the room and I see nobody twitch. Nobody. She literally said, she didn't say I negotiated them down. She said, I Jewed them down. I'm like, what the fuck is a Jude? I'm thinking Jude. What the fuck is a Jude? Everybody else didn't think nothing of it. I had to ask my wife at the time, what your mom just say? Jude. She Jewed him down. I'm like, the fuck is a Jude? Jew''. You know, Jew people, they always dealing with money and what? You literally let your mom say that without fucking saying a word? And you say she's not racist? These are the things that white people do, not all of them, but many of them. Got a mom who would do that, an uncle who would do that, and won't say a damn thing, then come around and be dating you, marrying you, having kids with you, and ain't doing shit about it. Not a damn thing. Then they want to tell you they down with you. How can you be down with me when your mom can say shit about Jewish people like that and you don't even correct her? It's harmless to you. So please spare me what you know about racism, because she wasn't the only one. That whole community of farmers were like that. It was nothing for racist shit to come off their tongue. And please spare me with the economics. They have money. When Trump was in office, they were losing money because Trump messed around with those tariffs and had to bail out farmers. They were losing money, bleeding cash. And he had to give them money to survive. And they were okay with that welfare because their president fucked up. It was all right. So don't give me his economics. They know he was terrible on economics for them. So it wasn't about economics. It was about their pastor telling them all this racist shit and them going along with it. It was about them believing in all this racist shit and acting like they don't know what the hell it was. And then people like, I get tired of people white-splaining me shit. Got white friends and Chris Cuomo and Stephanie Rule and all these people trying to tell us what the fuck it is. I'm tired of listening to y'all about shit. You don't know jack shit about shit when it comes to the life of people of color. You only know your life. And you hear the stories like a fucking fairy tale from black people and people of color. You can tell by the people who mass exited me when I start telling the fucking facts about I need to speak to black people, because I'm getting tired of people who say they down with us but don't want to listen to us, want to tell us what the fuck it is. I'm sorry, I spent 53 years in this body filled with experiences, not stories and not fucking feelings, experiences. So don't tell me you know better than me when you ain't experienced one hot second of what I've experienced. Not one hot second. Not years, not a second have you dealt with life through the life of a black person. So quit telling me you know what the fuck it is. Quit telling me you know what racism is. Quit telling me that you're an expert in something. Stephanie Rule, Chris Cuomo, talking about his economics. Fuck you. It is not economics. It's racism. It's sexism. It's xenophobia. You know how I know? Listen to the comments that they say. Most people don't know about politics. You just vote and just move on and go about your life and do whatever it is you do. Bake, cook, build houses. You don't know that much about it. You just know about it when it happens and then you vote and you're on your way. But there are terms used in politics that literally are focused just on race. Ask yourself a question. Why is it when they talk about black people, Latin people, and people of color, they call it urban? Urban is a location. It's not a people. It's a location. Does urban sound beneficial to the world? Does it sound like I do something productive for the society when you call me urban? Does it sound like it? It sounds like I live in a neighborhood that's urban. It doesn't sound like I'm a person, does it? It sounds like I'm a fucking location, doesn't it? Dehumanized. I am a household. I am a location. I am Harlem. I am whatever. I am the projects. That's who I am to them. That's when you say urban, you're talking about people of color. What do you say about white people? What do you call them? Working class. What? Other people don't work? Working class. Do black people not work? But see, they sound productive. They sound like they do something. Even if they poor as shit and living off of welfare, they're still called working class. But we're called what? Urban. And even a positive term for them, even location-wise, rural. But they don't just call them rural. They call them rural working class. We're called urban. Ain't no working class to it. Ain't nothing positive attached to it. Don't take it from me. Go look it up. Like I say, when I talk straight facts, I want you to check me and come back to me. Because I ain't got no reason to lie. And I ain't scared to tell the fucking truth. I speak truth to power. I give two shits about power. I give everything about being fair, loving people, being respectful, reciprocal. If I give it to you, I expect it back. So we're urban. White people are called working class. And you don't see the innate racism in that? See, it's all about like when my family member, I told you, they don't see the racism because they're used to it. It's like walking past something that you constantly see all the time. But if somebody was new in your neighborhood, be like, dude, you just walked past an alligator. Like, man, please, that ain't nothing. That's Tom. We see motherfucking racism. Y'all act like it's just the regular, everyday shit. And then you can just bypass it like, it just is what it is. Our kids can be just is what it is. And many good white people and good people of color literally understand this. But what you should learn from this election is, good white people, you in the minority. So please quit telling us that the majority of y'all give a fuck about everybody else but white people. The good white people, you are a minority in your race. You are not a majority. As much as we would love it to be a majority, this election showed us it's a minority. We love y'all, but we got to let y'all know the power that you have with us is weaker than what they have. And you know them, because I know my ex knows them. Like I said, I was embedded in a racist family. I am not stupid to it. Even though they tried to hide it from me, I went to sleep, think they were asleep. They were awake talking. I know how white families act when racism comes up. They'll say some of the racist shit and not know or not care or not think that it's wrong. It is a part of the way they speak. You know it. If your family's in the South, you know it. Shut up. Quit lying. If your family's from the Midwest, you know it. Quit lying. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of trying to appease people that focus on their feelings and tell everybody else to fuck theirs. Even when theirs is rooted in fact and yours is rooted in fiction. It ain't about facts here. It's not. In my place it is, but in America it's not about facts. People talk about economics and this other shit. Explain to me if it's economics. How is it that every time you saw a Trump rally, people had at least $500, $600 worth of shit they bought from him on their body? Trump hats, Trump shirts, Trump gold fucking medallions, Trump hats, Trump cards, all this shit. How is it you broke and got all the money to buy this trash? None of it of value, but all of it expensive. Yet you worried about finances Come on, who's stupid here? It's not about economics. If it were, you'd be saving your fucking money. You wouldn't be donating till you got broke to Trump. You're trying to save something here. Don't get it twisted. You're trying to save something here. And that is white supremacy. You may not be people who follow me, but you know people either in your family, friends, co-workers who are. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of smiling in my face and all the while you're stabbing people in the back, acting like, oh, I'm good here. And then you walk over to your racist friends, you're good. And you walk over to your racist cousins, you're good. You go to the barbecue, you're good. You come back to the black people, are we good? We ain't good. How the hell are we fighting for everybody's rights and you fight for your own? Black people out here fighting for everybody. Something happens to somebody in Gaza, our face is on it. Do you understand with Gaza and Palestine and all stuff like that, and we were talking about free Palestine and all, we was doing all that shit. Black people, I'm going to tell you right now, on all of my social media, over the past couple years or so, we've been talking about this. On my social media feed, I promise you, I've only seen like 2 or 3 Arab people fighting for this. I'm not saying it's only 2 or 3 that's been fighting. I'm just saying on my timeline, I've only seen 2 or 3. But you also know on my timeline, I've seen thousands of black people lend their face, their livelihood to their fight. You got to understand something, people. When we stand for a fight where people hate one side or the other, our likeness, our safety, our comment section is filled with hate. People see us on the street. They got that same anger for us that they have for Muslims. For us to put our face and our likeness on a fight takes a lot, and we do it freely because we fight for fairness and freedom. And then when you got people whom you ask to put their face on all of our problems, just focused on themselves, decided to stay out, and then ask us once it's over, come help us again. No, fuck you. I didn't put my face and my safety on the line for you so that when I needed you, you said fuck you to me, and now I'm supposed to come back and do what black people do, fight? What the fuck do I look like to you, an attack dog? I'm a human being that put his face and likeness on the line for you, and when we needed you, you said fuck you. So please, spare me. Fight it your damn self. I'm getting tired of these politically correct people. Oh, we got to come together. Fuck you. I'll come together when I feel like it. But right now, I don't feel like it. When we needed protection, you walked away. And it wasn't just us. Women needed protection. You walked away. Trusting who? Who's going to take care of you? Who's going to stand up for you? Not these white men, because those are the ones trying to take the rights from you. They said Project 2025 was a lie. 2 days after the election, they talking about implementing 2025 and putting in people that are going to throw people in cages and take their babies away. The same dude that did it last time is the same dude he picked this time. Latin people, look out. Your babies are gone. They're going to get rid of nationalization. So therefore, if you are a Latin person, that your parents are immigrants, like, let's say, what's his name? The guy running for president. His dad is still an immigrant, never became an American. That means he could be thrown out of the country if they pass that law. He could be thrown out, ladies and gentlemen. The guy that you might have voted for, the Indian guy, I can't remember his name at the top of my head right now. He could be thrown out of this country because of these laws that you guys just said, okay, I'll vote for my worst interests and then tell everybody it's economics. Really? If it was economics, please tell me what economic laws that Trump promised. Not one. He said he was going to raise what? Tariffs. Bring jobs back to America. How, pray tell? You never asked how. You never asked how. You didn't care. So if you cared about economics, you would know how his plan works. It wasn't about economics. Because I had to explain to people how it works. They had no clue. And when I told them how tariffs work, they thought I was lying. Trump know what he's talking about. No, he don't. Tariffs is going to raise everything up for you. Why do you think Elon Musk came out and said, economics is going to be bad when we first get in? Well, no shit. He's going to give you tax credits. Billionaires are going to make a shit ton of money, and they're not going to give jobs. They're going to go buy other shit like they always do. And in 4 years, we will be in more $1 trillion of debt because Donald Trump is not going to pay attention to economics. Farmers are going to be fucked if he throws tariffs on again, and he's not going to give them money because why? He doesn't have to worry about becoming president again. They told you these things. We told you these things. And what did you do? You thought we was lying. Everything we said is going to come true has already come true. We said they were going to enact Project 2025 to read it. 2 days after he said he won it, article comes out. Project 2025 is a thing. Where's Project 47? Where's that at? He lied to you. You don't care though. This is what tells me you don't give a fuck about politics. You don't give a fuck about economics. This is all about the others. Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you, Black Unfold. Vivek Ramaswamy could be kicked out of the country because his father's an immigrant, never became an American, and therefore the child of that immigrant, which is Vivek, can be thrown out of this country. Based on Project 2025, which they said they're going to implement. People said I lack empathy because I'm like, what's going to happen to them they deserve. No. See, what it is you guys lacked intellect. Because I told you this shit over and over again. Over and over again. Hours of my life. Years of my life. I spent trying to educate people because I gave a fuck about you. I knew this was going to happen to you. I studied the history. If you go back and look at my videos since the guy stole my account, I said it over and over again. If you do not know your history, you will repeat it. This is not the first time this shit happened, even in America. They keep talking about Germany and Hitler. This shit happened during slavery. I explained this shit for years. I literally told people this is how slavery started. 100%. Every strategy they used was the exact same. But that's not the only time they used it. They used this exact same strategy, and they used the exact same term during Reagan in 1980. Make America great again. It's not new. Even I hear Reagan took it from somebody. But it's the same strategy, the Southern strategy. Piss off enough white people, make them feel like they're afraid of everything and that somebody's going to take their white power away, and these fools will vote for their own fucking demise just so that other people get harmed worse than them. That's the strategy of the Southern strategy. Go look it up. Don't listen to me. Go look it up, people. Don't listen to me. I tell facts. There's no reason to lie to you. I don't get shit from you. I'm trying to do my best, I was gifted to be able to educate, to be able to inspire, to tell people the absolute truth no matter how much it hurts. And people literally stopped listening, didn't act like what the hell I was saying was factual, and ended up in a situation that everybody, that my mutuals as well as me, have told them was going to happen. Everything. And instead, they still did it. 100% did the exact shit that we said was going to happen. They voted for it. So what happens when you tell somebody something, you warn them about it, and they say F you and continue doing it. Am I supposed to care about now that you stepped on a landmine that you're going to blow your leg off? I can't care about it. You already done stepped in it. What I'm going to do, go over there and risk my life for you? No, Jack. That was beforehand. I risked my life beforehand and found out the grenade was there, and I told your dumb ass it was there. You still walked over there and didn't trust me. Now your shit's about to blow the fuck up, and now you want me to give a damn? No, sir. No, ma'am. I give two shits about what's about to happen to everybody because I'm too busy focused on what the fuck is going to happen to my brothers and sisters who tried to warn you. White women are going to die. I can promise you that. Latin women are going to die. I can promise you that. Black women are going to die. I can promise you that. Just because of overturning Roe versus Wade. And now you put the tyrant in that's going to make it final. And you, because of your dealing with racism bullshit, can't get over racism. Y'all need fucking therapy is what you need, you racist bastards. You need therapy. Because you can't get over something that black people ain't never did shit to you. Ever. There ain't nothing in history where black people did something to white people. Except for defend themselves from them. And yet we're the ones to be afraid of. How? Even that is BS in history. There's no reason for white people to be afraid of black people, period. We in history have never done anything to you. And what's so crazy about it, if you look at history, the only race that has harmed every race on this fucking planet has been white people. That's the only race that has harmed everybody from Africa to Jesus to everything. That race has harmed everybody, yet everybody acts like they're the good ones. How? How? Stop the lies. I tell the truth. I hate no one. I just love the truth. And you know how we get over it? We actually deal with it. And we talk to each other like, you know what? That was the past. Let's forge a new future. But no, these people want to continue going back to the past like it was better. When was it better? When was it better? They'll give you all kinds of years. Trump was going back to 1700 and something. 1800 and something for some laws. I'm sorry, but women couldn't vote and people who looked like me were enslaved. How is that a better time for everybody? That lets you know they ain't talking about going to a better time for all people. They're talking about going to a better time for white people. And you voted for the person who kept on trying to bring laws and talk about 1700 like it was a great time when women, white women, Latin women, black women, Asian women, women of all races, colors, and creeds were like second-class citizens, barefoot, pregnant, and couldn't speak back to their husbands and could not vote. And he championed that shit, and they voted for him in droves. So please quit telling me it's about economics. Because I don't care about money. If somebody's going to tell me they're going to harm me, or somebody tells me like Kamala that she's going to protect us, why would I vote for somebody who's going to harm me and going to cost me a shit ton of money? Doesn't make sense, does it? Every economist literally said Donald Trump's plan was going to harm the economy. So if you're worried about money and you're worried about economy, the one that literally is going to tear the economy up, do you think it's better? You do not. And if you do, you're ignorant, because you should know a tariff is a tax on the people. And if you don't know that, how are you American? How are you a patriot? Because you're not out there trying to help people if you don't know the very basics of how helping people works. Helping people means putting money back in their pockets, not taking out. So if you're voting for somebody who literally said he's going to take money out of your pocket, but lied to you about how fucking economics work, and you telling me you're a businessman, and I told you about my relatives, was a farmer in business throughout his whole life, you're telling me you voted against your own pocketbook? And you'll tell me that's economics? Get out of here, Joe. Get out of here. Please stop. Please stop. It's not true. economics is something that most people don't know about. No disrespect, but we just got to be honest. When we talk about economics, most people are talking about the money that they have in their pockets. Because to be honest, the majority of Americans do not have 401ks, right? They do not have CDs. They do not have a job that offers like a 401k or their own, own actual, they barely got savings and a checking account. Over 80% of Americans are like 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless. So you really don't know anything about economics because all you know about is your budget. And if you don't have one, you know about being broke. And that has nothing to do with the president. It has really nothing to do with the economy. It has everything to do with your finances. How you save, how you spend. All this money these people spend on Trump stuff, if they had taken just a fourth of that and put it in an IRA, a fourth of that and put it in some kind of stock, these people wouldn't be talking about that because they would have recognized that the actual market is excellent, better, record highs. The reason why you don't feel it is because you're not in the game. You're on the sidelines. And what pisses me off the most are these people like Chris Cuomo and these people like on air, talking about, it's their pockets, it's their pocketbooks. I'm like, shut up, bro. You know the economy's great. Chris Cuomo knows that his 401k and all his stocks shot the fuck up. He made a shit ton of money over Biden. He knows it. But he ain't going to talk about his finances. He's going to act like he gives a fuck about you. Ask him when's the last time he went to anybody's neighborhood and did something good other than reporting on it and getting in front of News Nation and saying some bullshit. I'm different. You ain't different, bitch. You the same. Same. Always lying to the people just so you can get your point across. You don't know what the hell it's about. If you knew what the hell it was about, you'd be talking to black people. We don't sit here in this damn country and witness everything for centuries. Our ancestors have told us about everything. And you want to sit here and act like you know what America's all about when you don't even know racism exists like 4 years ago. Shut up. You know shit from a white perspective, and that literally means you know jack shit about America except for white people. Everybody else you got stereotypes about. Donald Trump is a person who raped a woman. At least the judge says that's what you can call it. Sexually assaulted multiple women. Robbed people, didn't pay them. On the campaign trail, people who made a mistake, and you can't say it was even their fault. Somebody could have tripped over a wire. He's like, don't pay those people. They champion. You are those people, idiot. He did everything wrong, and the majority of white people came out and said, I vote for a guy who does everything wrong. Seriously? I spent my entire, I'm 53, my entire life since I was able to vote. I've asked Republicans and Democrats the question, my hand to God, why are you a Republican? Why are you a Democrat? Neither party really had an understanding of why they were Republican. They would mention, like, they would rattle off shit. But mostly the Democrats would talk about helping people. So they were more, if you listen to what they say they were going to do and what they wanted to do. And these are people I spoke to. So I ain't talking about just random tests. I'm talking about the thousands of people I've asked in my entire life since I was 18. The Democrats were always giving a fuck about people. Always. Their main thing was, I want to help this. I want to help the homeless. I want to solve this. I want to solve that. They had good things to help people. Every last one of the Republicans I asked my entire life said these things. I am for family. I am for law and order. I am for fiscal conservatism. Right? Christianity. All these things. And I'm like, what are those things you stand for now? Donald Trump cheated on his wife. Beat one of them, she recanted. All of his wives he cheated on. The one he ended up marrying last was a person who took nude pictures. Christians don't like that shit. She like one step above a prostitute. And that, yeah, right? Okay. Then he grapes women. Tells people he grabs them by the you know what. All of that. And they ain't even 1,000th of what he's done. But that's more than enough for a person who's a real Christian. A person with the values that they said they had as Republicans really believe in. So you can guarantee that the Republicans of today are not Republicans. Those people who believed in those ideals are called rhinos now. And the rhinos are just like dinosaurs in the past, extinct. Not a one of them in power worth a damn. Ask yourself, why would a Republican Party, regular Republicans, because like I said, my family members my ex was married to, her family was down with Reagan. They regular Republicans. Why would a regular Republican go with Trump? Because he's trying to protect whiteness. All this other bullshit, y'all want to put this pie in the sky bullshit. No, it's not true. You can tell by the way people move as opposed to what they say. I don't listen to what people say. I listen to how they act, how they vote, how they respond. Because what you say is what you politically want people to believe. What you do is innate to who you are. The way you move lets me know who you really are. I don't listen to this. I listen to your actions. And their actions are racist because there's no other reason. It's not economics. It's not dealing with religion because it's all against religion. It has everything to do with identity politics, has everything to do, and it's not just racist, it's xenophobic, it's sexist, misogynist, it's all these things they call woke. Think about it for a hot second. If you don't think this country is somewhat racist, woke is a black term used for protection. Something that black people hold dear, that racist white people took and made it an evil thing, like they always do about black people. Anything that turns out to be a positive for us has always got to be a negative for them. Why couldn't they choose another word? But no, they chose black words so that they can get people that hate us or anybody that wants good things. They can get Latin people who want to be white. They got Latin people who claim to be white. You got Latin people that hate black. You got Asian people the same. You got all, so they know the identity is use black people and you can get all people to be able to move toward white power because they are afraid that they're going to be associated and equaled to black people. Therefore, they have to sell us out so that they can get closer to whiteness. See, there was a Latin guy that literally said this to another guy. He said, black guy asked him, why'd you vote for Trump? He's talking about, sending y'all away and all stuff like that. His thing was, Donald Trump scares him. And he knows that if I vote alongside of him, maybe he'll see a lot of Latin men voted for him that he'll leave us alone. And I say, if I was next to that man, you are a complete dipshit. You're going to vote for the man that promised to put your family in cages because you're afraid of him and you think he's loyal to people who vote for him, that he would leave you alone. I'm sure he ain't the only idiot out there. But that's some dumb shit. Dumb. He better hope and pray that he's not an immigrant, or his mom's not, or his daughter's not. But it sounds like he is, or somebody in his family is. And he can say goodbye now, because it's going to happen. He just put into place the guy who said he was going to deport them. And if they wanted to stay together, he'll deport the entire family. I don't understand how 1 + 1 ain't equaling 2 to these fools. And we've been telling them for years, but they've been watching Fox, and Fox wasn't telling them the truth. And now they're about to get that ass ate up, and I'm just going to sit back and watch it with popcorn. Because again, I got shit to worry about for mine. I ain't got time to be worrying about theirs anymore. You sold your own family down the river. Don't come to me talking about give you a paddle on a boat. No, fool. I got to keep the paddle on the boat for me. Don't ask us to fight for you when it's time for you to fight for us. You ain't there. And don't act like, oh, he ain't got no sympathy. No, fuck you. You didn't have no sympathy for anybody else but your own. And you thought by selling out your own, somehow this white man was going to save you. When he talked about immigrants eating dogs and shit. And people look like you, Latin man. He thought you was rapists, and some of y'all may be good people. I mean, how many times you got to tell a fool that you're about to do something to him for that fool to realize, I don't need to be a fool no more. I need to wise up. See, he needed to be woke. But that fool was wide asleep. I got no sympathy for what happens to him. No sympathy. I got sympathy for those that are in his family that tried to educate him, and those who are good people that's going to get taken away. But for those who voted for him, I got no sympathy for you. But your family members, I am so sorry. But you need to whoop his ass because he did it to you. Not us. He did it. We had educated white women. Again, anybody that knows about how the economy works, educated white women know, and they know their 401ks look mighty good, they weren't stupid enough to vote for it. Now, some of them may have a twinge of racism in them and they still voted, but a majority of them knew what was up. Latin women. Latin men know. Everybody talks about, like, oh, this group or that group was very little. Native American was like only 1%. I don't care. They still voted in a massive number toward Trump. And this is the fool that wanted to, like mess up their native land. He was the one. Remember they had that, what was it called? It was when Trump was president, there was a pipeline going through the native lands. And Trump was trying to like destroy their property and was arresting all of them and all shit like that. That wasn't Biden, that was Trump. How you going to vote against your own interests? Boy, I don't get it. But I really do. I understand that it's racism, that it's always wanting to get close to white supremacy, so therefore you can hopefully think that they won't put you at the bottom of the totem pole. Proximity to power. That's what the 20 or whatever so of black men did. Proximity to power. And plus, I know a lot of them are sexist as hell. That goes for pretty much most of the men, period. Men, let's be honest. You've hung around men. You know somebody in your family. Hell, I got family and friends that treat women like absolute trash. They literally say stuff about them that I'm like, dude, why you say that? Because they don't think of them as being equals. Many of them think of them as just sex toys. Just keep it 100. And then what? When we say that's a reality, oh, what? Shut up. You know it's true. You know one of them. If you aren't one of them. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I tell facts, baby. If your uncle ain't like that, your dad is. Your dad ain't like that, your cousins are. If they aren't, you are. Quit lying. It takes a real solid man, secure in his own being, to be able to put a woman in power and not have any kind of feeling like you lost something. So don't get it twisted. A lot of you are weak ass punks that decided to protect your manhood. You're still a punk. You're not a man. I can understand people voting for economics. I can understand people voting for like political advantages. I get it. But you voted for everything that's against you. So how could you vote for something that doesn't help you any? Donald Trump ain't never said he's going to help a Latin person in his lifetime. He ain't never said he's going to help a Native person in his lifetime. It ain't even came off his tongue. He ain't never said he's going to help women. He literally said he put women behind bars for getting abortions, even if they got raped. He ain't never said he wanted to help a woman worth a damn. So tell me, why would you even vote for him at all? He didn't give you a reason to. Not one reason did he give you to vote for him that would benefit you. Immigrants, that's hate. So you voted for hate. You hate these people, so you want them out of the country. Why? These business people know that those immigrants make them money. So the business people ain't got no problem with them. See, this is what you don't understand about rich people, too. If you really listen to them and pay attention to them, like Peter Thiel, this came out of his mouth. There's a documentary out. I think it's called, it's a number or something like that, 17 or 19 or 2073 or 2075 or some shit like that. It's not that great of a documentary, but I mean, it's like a futuristic like documentary, but it shows out like a documentary stuff and how the world will be in 2073 based on this shit. Peter Thiel literally said that they needed, poverty. He said when I was in San Francisco and lived up there and on the mountain, they showed him standing over San Francisco, you know what I mean? And in his multi-million-dollar mansion and shit, looking down over the city. And he was talking about poor people down there in tents and shit. And they showed a video in this documentary of the tents and these poor homeless people of different races. It wasn't just one race. Just different races all lined up and down the street in these blue tents and shit. The words that came out of his mouth was, we need them. As long as they stay down there, my property value goes up. That's a Republican for you. I promise you, my entire life, I've spoken to Republicans and Democrats and asked them that question. And only a Republican in my lifetime has ever spoke like that about the poor. He didn't have empathy. He didn't have sympathy. He said, we need them so that my property value will stay up. I'm like, so here's what he does. He donates so that they can stay poor. Not enough to help them get out of something, but just enough to make them feel good about, hey, I know you're going to stay there, but here's $100. Here's $50. Can't do nothing with it. But it eases my pain of, fuck off, Peter Thiel. That's what these people think about poor people of all races. But you can't listen to black people tell you about shit they learned. You got to hear it from a white person to think it's valid. And that white person's got to hold your white privilege strong, make you feel comfortable and wrapped up in this white privilege blanket for you to believe it. And the thing that's so crazy, they don't have to give you any receipts. They just make you feel like it's true. Don't believe me? Ask me when Donald Trump has ever brought you a fact that had receipts to it. None of them have had receipts. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. It's going to be big, big league. Adjectives, nouns, and verbs and bullshit. Not one actual plot, plan, strategy, nothing. You allowed him to tell you, I'm just going to do it. How? I got plans too, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm going to do it. You mean tell me 9 years you still ain't figured out a fucking plan? Exactly. So please quit telling me the Dems need to change this. I don't care about what the Dems got to do. I'm done. Dems, Independent, Republican, I'm done with y'all for right now. I got to regroup. When I have my meeting with black people and we discuss what's going on, I'm done with every one of these factions until I regroup and figure out what's going to benefit me, my people, and those whom I give a shit about. Racist people, I don't give two shits about you. If I had to cure the cancer, I would burn the shit. I would not give it to you. And watch you die, little by little. I don't give a fuck about you racist motherfuckers. Period. You ain't got no more ounce of sympathy or empathy. And if God came down, he just had to tell my ass to go to hell before I fucking turn around and say, oh, you're good. No, you're demons. 100%. Racist people, you're demons. Ain't no good in you. No good value. There's no reason God should have created you. God is good. God is love. There ain't none in you, racist people. There's no good. There's no love. So I don't understand why he created you. That's why I don't believe in Christianity no more. Because if it was such thing as what God said was going to be, he would have never created people like y'all. You racist ones. He would have never created you if he really believed that God is good and all that shit. There's no way he would have created it. And if he did, what a sick joke. Ha ha. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm going to tell you 100%. I done gave all I can. Love, positivity, energy, and all this shit. And all y'all do is turn around and throw it in people's faces like, huh, that's weakness. Really? Okay. Then you're going to see the strength. I'm only helping those people who turn out to be worth a damn. And if you show me you're not worth a damn, please disappear. Because I'm tired of educating idiots. I'm tired of telling people, watch out for the snake or the bomb, and your dumb ass step on it. And then ask for help. Blow up. Go away. Stop. I ain't trying to help you no more. I ain't trying to educate you. I ain't trying to do shit for you. Learn for yourself and teach me something for once. My focus is on helping people who are worth helping. Period. You don't like it? Leave. A lot of you been leaving as it is. I'm thankful that you are. Because if you ain't no good to me, then there's no reason for you to be here. I've been good to a lot of people. Thousands of people. Helped them out. Conversed with them about their lives. Prayed for them. Did all this shit. And what did these people do? Go out and vote for a tyrant. Didn't show up to vote, some of you Democrats. So yeah, I'm regrouping. My content may change, but it'll never stop from being factual. And I'm sick and tired of people who say they down, but not. So if you're down and you're still here, I know who the real ones are. If you disappear, I know who the real ones weren't. And I'd rather get out the vermin. If you want to talk about vermin, I'd rather get your ass up out of here so that I can talk to the real people instead of the fake ass people that just came here and watch a show like it's a fucking circus or some shit. We can't move forward until we get the people and weed the people out who are always trying to hold us back. And this goes for good people of all races. White women, you've been held back by white men, but yet though many of you, 60% of you, still keep thinking that they're going to somehow have your best interest. It took a black man to fight for equal rights for your ass to be able to get in the boardroom. And you give that credit to the white man when it was actually the black man that died for you to have it. And they want to get rid of affirmative action, realizing white women, you know you are the majority who got from that, who received those opportunities. And you still voting alongside those fools who want to take it away, which means they're taking it away from you too. You are the benefactor, the majority benefactor for what black people died for. And the fact that you don't know that is highly disrespectful to Martin Luther King and others who fought for it. Donald Trump says he's going to mess around. Project 2025, 19th Amendment's on the block, which means that women can't vote. They literally put on the chopping block your right to vote and your right to decide what you do with your own vagina, and you still voted 60% for them. No more. Racist white women, please stop. Please stop coming to ask black people and people of color to help you in your fights. There's no reason for it. Now, the minority ones, yeah, I'm there for you. I can't figure out which one you are, so don't get pissed off if I get questions and shit. Ask a few questions, I find out, I'm out. I don't care about what is a majority in this country. a minority in this country. Good people is good people. But I'm also not worried about people who say they aren't racist going over to the racist side. Go. You weren't real to begin with. I don't believe in facades. I want real shit. Things that I can see and touch, tangible things. If you're really a good person, which I know a lot in my music group and all stuff like that, are wonderful people, would never harm or flee, love all people, and would vote for their best interest, not along racial lines. Everybody knew Kamala Harris was best for women, was best for all these things, for economics. You didn't have to take her word for it. All you had to do is take the people who actually worked, that were nonpartisan, that said Trump's economic plan would destroy American economic for a while, if not for decades. Hers will make it better. That's economics. Who you gonna believe? People who spend their whole life in economics, or a man that tanked casinos? Please stop telling me you made a decision based off of logic. You're based off of racism and proximity. You are afraid of the fact that these them and theys, you don't like that. You want to go back to him and her. You don't like lesbian, gay, trans, bi. Listen to this real quick. But this is a scenario that I want to leave you guys with in the way that I'm going to tell you about is what racist America wants from us people. And you'll notice it already, because I'm going to tell you right now, today I was walking. I went on a break. I went walking around the block, the neighborhood. And as I was walking, this white man on the street, I don't know if he was crazy or whatever the hell it was, but there were a bunch of people walking by. There was a white guy in front of me. It was me. There was a white lady behind me, like 15 feet, 20 feet. He was coming with a white guy in front of him. He wasn't talking to none of them. As soon as he walks past me, he looks at me and he starts talking about murder and killing and stuff like that. And I was like, the fuck? So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm tripping. But then, I seen videos of black people. How did these people get black people's text? Telling black people that, sign up for slavery, picking cotton. All these racist things that come out. What Donald Trump does for racists is he does exactly what they want to talk about with the woke. See, they call woke, again, gay, lesbian, bi, trans people, having to call them, they, instead of who they really are, their names, and having all this extra shit they had to do. Their thing is this. They're jealous because these people can be out in the open and their racism has to be in the closet. So what Donald Trump does is allow them to have their racism come out the closet and be free, just like gay, bi, trans people have been able to come out and be who they really are and not hide and be afraid. They want to be racist without being labeled a racist. They want to have all the freedom to say and do these horrible things that are inside them. So they're yearning to come out of the closet, and they found their leader to allow them to come out. And if you start recognizing in your neighborhood black people, you're going to start seeing white people say some of the most racist shit just walking by you. Because now they got free reign to say it because they're leader. And they're doing it before that guy did it to me. They put it out on text and stuff like that. FBI's looking it up, whatever. They're doing this shit before Donald Trump really takes office. Wait till he gets in office. When he's actually working. When he's actually saying, don't do nothing to them. He's got power to do so. Wait till that happens. It's only going to get worse. This is just the beginning. So you're going to see this. When Donald Trump was in, what was happening to Asian people? The Kung flu, Chinese flu shit they were saying. I protected 2 Asian women on the subway. One from a black guy, one from a black homeless guy, another from a white guy. White guy spit on the woman because of that calling it Kung flu and China flu and all that shit, the racist shit. These motherfuckers came out. You think that ain't gonna happen again? Now they're gonna be doing it to Latin people, immigrants. I wonder what racist slang they're gonna come up with. They call them the Kung flu. What they gonna call y'all? Because they're gonna do something. Trust and believe. They didn't get this quote unquote out of the closet white power medallion to be able to not use it. This superpower they got now, they're going to use it. How they going to use it is the question. Listen to all these highbrow reporters and anchors tell you about finance, and this is what they worried about their pockets. Shut up. You don't want to admit they worried about their white power. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's why my news, I'm starting up Straight Facts, No Chaser News. I'm going to tell the truth 100%. Whatever I find, I rat on. And when people say rat on, oh, you're a rat, fuck you. I'm a rat on them. Every last ounce of whatever I find will be told. I ain't holding shit back. I find it to be a fact, it's coming out, yo. I am not being politically correct. Nobody owns me. This is all mine. I'm saying what the fuck I'm going to say. And I want you to fact check every last one of them. And when I do get evidence, I'm going to put it out there so you can fact check me on everything. But I'm starting that. I'm working on it. So keep looking out for it. Right, Susie Q? I was upset at first with when they got rid of Biden. I made a thing about it. You know, working on that as well. But I was upset about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because again, not because it was Kamala, it was a woman. It was because last minute they gave it to her. She only had 3 months to do this. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Y'all just gonna have to roll with him. And you know, she did amazing work in 3 months. I mean, it's historic. Even to get this close with 3 months of work. But it is what it is. You're right. Right, Bamboozle, better carry ID because, again, I don't understand why they have short memories, Bamboozle. I don't get it. I mean, it's like, dude, they don't remember stop and frisk. I mean, in Texas, they was pulling them over like it was like, you know, like it was a thing to do. They deported so many Latin people that were American citizens just because they didn't have their papers. This is some old Germany / Japanese internment camp bullshit. And they're like, okay, I'll vote for it. I'm like, yo, that's like I was doing this whole time. I was like, something's wrong. I don't know why people are seeing like lies to be truth and truth to be lies. I don't get it, but something's wrong, and we got to get off of this lie train. But they stayed on that shit long and strong, and I'm like, okay, so this must be like an era of purging. And a lot of Latin people are going to be gone. They're going to get rid of some, all immigrants of all factions. Whatever they find to be beneficial, they'll keep here. And, I hope they don't think that black people are going to go back to anything. Because I'll be damned. I'll die first. I'll tell you that right now. I'll die first. Life ain't that fucking great. To be sitting around here being somebody's, enslaved human being. That shit ain't gonna happen, Jack. Y'all can dream all you want to. You will be fucking around with a corpse before you fuck around with a person enslaved. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'm doing a Zoom call. It's on the 16th. On the 16th of this month. This coming Saturday, I think it's at noon. If you gave me your email, if you watched that video, you sent me the email. I'll be sending out invites again because it got up to 50 people. I sent out the emails, and then since then I've had a bunch more. So I haven't been able to send out a second round of emails, but it's going to be on Saturday the 16th. We're going to have a conversation, get through some things, and work through some things, and offer solutions. I told you I'm a guy who deals with the problems, listen to people, and then after that we're going to get to like some solutions. And, it's going to be more than one meeting because we can't do it all in one. But everybody's going to get a chance to speak a few minutes or whatever it may be about what's going on in your mind. And then we're going to listen to each person speak. So, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. It's about time we have some kind of unity, some kind of therapy with us, meaning being able to speak it out, get it all out, not all of it, but at least some of it, and continue. I want to continue doing this because, again, it's well past due. It hasn't been a situation where we come together to kind of help each other understand where we stand since 1968, Martin Luther King. There hasn't been a time since then. Not unless you're Muslim, you know what I'm saying, Minister Farrakhan or something, but my thing is not focused on religion. It's not focused on anything other than just being a black person going through the bullshit that we're going through in this country and nobody listening. So we need to be able to listen to each other, come up with plans and understanding. Then we can incorporate our brothers and sisters who aren't black. But I don't need to hear other people's voices trying to deter us from our plans of what we need to do. We already showed America in droves that black people know what the fuck is going on in this country, and we don't need other people who split in half and go all over the place to be telling us how to organize and strategize this shit. We have put our energies into everybody else's fights, and when it was time for them to fight for us, a small percentage of them came out in almost every category. It's about time we use our 90% women, our 80% men to focus on us, and then help other people. Because if we ain't got no power, all they're going to do is use us for what they fucking need and then throw us away when they done. And if you don't like what I just said, bye-bye, because it's the truth in this damn country. I say straight facts. You don't like it, fuck your feelings. I don't care about them, not one bit. You ain't going to move me off this stone. I've been on this rock for 53 years. I know what racism is. I know what it feels like. I know what it's like. And I'm not stepping off of trying to get rid of it. I'm getting tired of asking other people for solutions. I'm getting tired of asking other people for loans and investments. Fuck all that. We can do it. There's 1.8 trillion dollars. That is that's how much black people spend a year. $1.8 trillion. We don't need anybody else. We shouldn't be in a situation where we're asking everybody else. We should be inviting other people to take part in what we got going, not asking other people to allow us into theirs. That's the way I feel about it. So if you're ready for it, you know what's up. Hit me up. Watch that video on my YouTube channel. And if you want to just leave the room because I'm talking pro-black, bounce, because I ain't got time for people who half care about black people. You got to care about us 100. If you don't give a fuck about us, bounce. You're useless. You are useless. I'm getting tired of putting my face on your fight, but when I need you, where you at? Where you at? Some of you there. But the other ones who want to bounce because they're afraid of what I'm saying or whatever, go, because you ain't useful to nobody but yourself. Go hang out with your racist white friends. They'll make you feel better. I'm not here to make you feel better or feel worse. I'm here to make you feel like the facts are actually the facts. If it makes you feel bad, then go to therapy and figure it out. Because trust me, none of these people give a fuck about our kids. You know what trips me out in this whole time that we've been talking about this shit, not just me and you, but this past 4 or 5 years and many years beyond? People just don't realize something. Black people have always had to just shut it up, stop talking about it, it's well past, gone, but yet you still celebrate 1776, and that was prior to 1863 and 1865. We can't go back there, but you can go back 100 years prior almost and talk about that. Hell, you can go back to George Washington and talk about that. But we can't go back to slavery because it doesn't make you feel right. We can't go back to the evil things that white people did because you don't feel good. Well, excuse me. If my kids don't know the history, the true history of their country, they don't know where they live at. They think they live in this situation where somehow it just happens that they have a nicer life now than their ancestors did. Oh, wow, it was just white people just became good. No, black people fought and died. That's how. Tired of giving credit to, oh, it was good white people. No, there was a very excellent, superb, brilliant black people that had help by white people, but don't give the white people all the credit. And that's what these books have been doing, giving them all the credit. Most people didn't even know that Frederick Douglass was a major part of why black people are free in this country. He leveraged us to get freedom with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln didn't want us to be free in this country. But everybody's like, oh, Abraham Lincoln, fuck Abraham Lincoln. I'm Frederick Douglass all day, every day. If it wasn't for him, I'd be in Liberia right now. So I'm done. When black people can figure out what the hell we want to do, then we can incorporate other people. But after we figure out what we need to do. And it's not about hating on anybody, it's about loving on us. It's about time we did that. Because we saw us vote for everybody's rights in droves, in majority, and everybody else was split. How can you be split about everybody's rights? We didn't want to see any woman, not just black women, we didn't want to see any woman dead because she couldn't get an abortion or somebody raped her. We didn't want to see that. How the hell you think that's not fighting for white people? That's not fighting for Latin people. That's not fighting for people that are Palestinian in this country. You just didn't make it an issue. For some reason in your mind, women dying of your race because of that law that white men made up was okay. Okay. We saw it dire than that. We didn't want to see one of y'all be sacrificed. And it turns out, like 60% of you white women didn't care that your other fellow white women were going to die because of this law. You gave two shits about it. So why did we care? But that's uneducated white women. Sorry, let me back up off that. A majority of educated white women did vote. So I give them their credit. I'm not one to disrespect anybody with fake facts. Those are the facts. So it is what it is. But I come on this to be real. I don't come on this to spare your feelings. The shit I talk about even hurts my feelings. But fuck my feelings. The facts are the facts. I have to learn how to deal with the truth, even if it's painful. And so do you. When I talked about earlier about, learning about our history, it's painful for black people, but they need to know it so they don't return to it. But it trips me out how white people wanted, and not all white people, but these white people who were focusing on getting books out of schools and forming groups so that they can monitor what their kids get to see about black people's true history and books about this, that, and the third that had to deal, even Latin people or even Native American people or, about being different than everybody else. They wanted all that shit to go. And it's all about their feelings. I don't want my kid to feel this way. Did you ever ask yourself how the kids who need these books feel? A little kid who feels gay with nobody to talk to, you want that person to just deal with it by himself. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. You make me feel different when I see that, so I don't want to give a shit about what you feel. It's what I feel. When a little black kid is being called the N-word by your little stupid ass children and they don't know how to deal with that, they don't know where that shit comes from, you say Johnny's just being Johnny, he's just being a little boy. You excuse the evil and disrespect that you taught this little bastard. But you don't think about how that black kid has to deal with the trauma, because once it came out of his mouth, he was done with it. She has to deal with it for the rest of her life. She'll be 50 and remember when that little white kid called her the N-word in school. But you didn't give a fuck about her. You'll tell her to get over it. Your kid, no big deal, Tommy. Just don't do it at this school or don't do it at school. Park will be fine. You don't care about the black person's feelings, how he or she feels not knowing the truth. It's all about what you feel. I feel guilty when I hear about it. Well, I'm sorry, deal with it in therapy, but the reality is if they don't learn about it, they don't know what kind of person they're standing next to. Because if you're the type of person that wants to hide reality, then you're the type of person that would do the exact same thing as your ancestors and hide that shit. You should want to know what they did out in the open so that we can defeat that way of thinking, that ideology. It's like anything else. You never get over alcoholism until you face the facts that you're an alcoholic. And even then, you're still an alcoholic. You're just going through a lot of things to maintain without drinking another ounce of liquor. Just like a racist, you don't exit racism. It's going to come back to you. It's whether you continue on the program to stay out of that racist ideology. Because trust me, it's like a rubber band. If you've been that way your whole life, you're going to say something racist again. But see, it depends on who your friends are. If they recognize it as racism. You got black friends, like, yo, that was racist. Really? Trust me. Get a bunch of black friends around you and start talking if you don't believe you're racist. You'll hear, the fuck? A lot. But you don't believe you're racist. But listen to the shit you say. Trust me. White people ask me, man, does this sound racist? I'm like, fuck yeah, it does. Oh, well, damn. I've been saying that my whole life. Well, I get you. But don't say it anymore. I bet you they still do. Just not around me. Because they're comfortable with it. It's easy to come off the tongue, and it's something in their brain that just automatically clicks. It's normal to them. It is what it is. But when you look at all these things, you start to realize if you are not focused on not doing bad things to people, especially if it's something that's innate to you to do something bad, then you really aren't focusing on helping other people. Now, it's crazy how black people don't have to focus on not saying something racist or disrespectful about white people. It's crazy how that works. When we have every right to hate every last one of y'all. Every last one of y'all. But we don't. We have every reason. Because again, we don't know if you're good and not racist until we talk to you. But your culture has done so much to us, we shouldn't trust not one of you. But our heart is so big and we care and love about people and just equality, we give everybody a chance until you prove us is not worthy of having it. Can we say the same about other cultures toward black folk? You got immigrants coming here not being able to speak a lick of fucking English and can learn how to say the N-word to us, disrespect us, and it's because of us their immigrant ass got a chance to be in this fucking country. But they give it to white people. They don't realize that black people had to fight and die for that to be a reality. They don't care. And you ask us every time to give a fuck about your problems. But your ancestors and your nieces, nephews, cousins, uncles, whatever, don't give a fuck about us. And you know it. Because you do, your aunt and your mom don't necessarily do. And it's not for everybody who's in this room who has that, but you know it's true. More often than not. How do we solve that problem? I've been asked that question many a times. That's why I'm having this meeting, because I think black people need to come to a collective, because too many of us black people have 1,500 ways to solve that problem. And if we need help from y'all, 1,500 ways ain't going to get shit done. It's going to get 1,500 opportunities of doing absolutely shit. But if black people come together and say, I think we need blah, blah, blah. We got 3 things. All of us can work on those 3 things. Tell our friends those 3 things, and we can work on those 3 things, implement things that help those 3 things grow, and we can come back together and get 3 more things. We need to work in unison. We need to work as a unit and stop bullshitting and thinking about, oh, me, 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 me. This is a we generation we need to build. Fuck that me shit. But black people got to get there first, because they always coming to us for the answer. We didn't create racism, but we're tasked with ending it. Kind of fucked up, right? The people who created it, they should be going to their family members and working hard to get rid of it. But the people who've received it their entire fucking lives are the ones tasked with ending it. We don't know what your family thinks. We don't understand how they have this evil toward us. We never did anything toward them. You're inside. You're an inside person. You should be the one coming out and telling us, hey, you need to do this. This is the game plan, because this is the way he thinks. We got to figure out that shit. You don't bring us the intel. You want us to figure it out with osmosis and shit. When you lying next to them. The reality is, if you really want to get rid of racism, you be the one coming up with the plan and telling black people how to figure it out. You be the leaders in it. We wouldn't have to be the ones putting our faces on it all the time if you really wanted to end it. But the reality is, you must not really want to end it because you're asking us how to solve a problem that exists in your family, in your lineage. The best way to solve something is somebody on the inside. Why do you think when they do a drug deal or whatever, they get somebody on the inside to figure out how it's working so they can break it down? That's what you guys need to do. But are most of you doing it? No. You're leaving it up to us to put our face on the fight. And you're marching behind us when you should be working on the inside, spying and figuring it out and helping the situation dissipate. That's the way it could end. But that's not the way it's going to end because we can't rely on other people because at every turn, other people fail us because it's not in their best interest when it gets down to the point. So black people have to figure out their best interest around it and strategize. And that's what's happening with Be Heard on 11/16. I think it's at noon Pacific Standard Time. I'll send out the links to everybody who wants to be a part of it. Again, it's black people being able to have their safe space to say what the hell they got to say and get it off their chest. It's not to like hate on anybody, but it's just to be able to say something without the white gaze. Because again, we're tired of being judged, tired of being told what we should be doing, always telling us what we're supposed to be doing, but never really following through. We got to do it also. I can say never, but a lot of the time, majority not following through. So we're going to try and figure this out and then get back to people. But that's the way it is. And I'm going to tell you right now, I only do this because I want to see a world that treats everybody the same. But I know there's a vast majority of white people in this country that don't want it to be equal because they think of their power like disintegrating. And if that happens, they are afraid that people of color, not always black people, but we're like the most hated, but people of color will take over them and treat them the same way that they treated us. That has never been on the plan for black people, but hey, I get it. You may think that's the reality, but it's never been. I can tell you from the inside of black people's families in my homes, and they don't want to take over white people. They just want to be left the fuck alone, to be quite honest. But it doesn't seem that racist white people want to do that. They always want to be in our business. And I got one last thing to say about this. It's like about reality of racism in this country. It's so tripped how racism is so present, but yet people want to tell you it's not really there. Think about this for a second. I want to ask my white people in here, and not to be, it's not derogatory. It's not like, just because you're white, it's not a negative thing. I'm just asking. How many of you have ever been told that your natural God-giving look or hair was not worthy? That you couldn't come to work with your natural hair in your head growing out that God gave you? We recently had the Crown Act passed. In this fucking decade, just a few years ago, for black men, women, and children to wear the hair that God gave them. Follicles that come out of their head they have no control over. To tell them that their look was not acceptable. How many of you white people have been told that? In sports, in day-to-day life, that the hair that grows out of your hair naturally is not acceptable. The Crown Act, yeah. That has never happened to you. And for that to be happening in this decade, I don't know what year it was. I don't know if it was like a few years ago, whatever, what year it was. I can look it up the exact date. But the Crown Act had to be made so that black people can wear the hair that God made. Man literally thought, let me take that back, because it's not all man. White people thought, or even think, that the hair that grows out of our head is so grotesque that we shouldn't be able to wash our hair and come to work naturally, that we've got to appease them by doing whatever to our hair that makes them comfortable. And you want to tell me this country isn't majorly racist? Not a little bit. A fucking lot. That should be something that every person should be shitty about. That had to be a real thing. Why is it an act? Why isn't it that just black people just should be able to do it without having to pass a law? Why don't it just be their innate right like it is for whites? There's no law for white women to have a Crown Act so they can wear their hair the way it is. So please spare me with the bullshit. We can't solve this problem until we admit it is a problem. And not a tiny one. It's a huge fucking problem. Have the luxury of arguing with a cop bamboozle. That's a good one. Without getting shot, man. It's just, Julie, you've never been told that. Yeah, that's the reason why, again, I don't know if you're black, you may be, but not every instance has happened to every black person. I've never been shot, but I understand that a lot of us have. But yeah, I understand. But anyway, I came out because I was going to talk about Chris Cuomo, because you can go check it out. But Chris Cuomo put out a couple of videos. One about Fareed Zakaria, them trying to explain some highbrow reason as to why Dems need to regroup and all this shit like that. It ain't nothing about that. I get tired of these highbrow people trying to talk highbrow. I can speak highbrow. I understand highbrow. You know what I'm saying? But the people who didn't vote are not highbrow. These people are low educated. They are or even uneducated. So they never thought about any of the shit that these people was talking about. The shit that what's his name? Chris Cuomo is talking about. He said some nonsense about, we gotta focus on, they gotta stop focus on the woke and focus on the broke. What is he, some little rapper now or some shit? See, the thing about politicians, they always got to bring something that rhymes so that you can remember it. So therefore, you can get their message out a lot quicker. People are going to be saying, stop the woke, focus on the broke. They literally said, stop working on the woke and start working on the rural and working class. Coded means stop working on the minorities and focus on white folk. That's what that says. Stop working on black people. Stop working on gay, lesbian rights. Stop working on them, they. Start working on white people and working class white people. That's why you lost, because you didn't focus on the majority of people in this country are white. You should have stayed white and you would have been right. You would have won. But you guys are over here talking about the people who are the minorities here like we give a fuck. No, we don't. We want our him and her back. Fuck the them and they. We want you to focus on us and give us what we want, even free shit if you can, and fuck giving them anything. We want them to go back into the closet. And if you can export a lot of them, like move them somewhere so that we can get back to making America white again. I mean great again. Yeah, that's what we want. Dems, y'all need to focus on that. That's what the Republicans and Chris Cuomo and Fareed Zakaria and Stephanie Rule and all of them, they're trying to tell you, focus on white people now. And if you stop focusing on these woke people, the N-words, the Latin people, stop focusing on them and focus on white people, you'll win. You got it all wrong. Politics is all about what are you going to do for the white folk? That's all we want. That's how you win. That's what they're saying. So pay attention when you watch MSNBC, CNN, Fox. They're going to talk about rural. They're going to talk about working class. That's what they failed. They failed the white people is what they're saying. If you don't believe me, go look up what rural means politically. Go look up what those words mean as far as politically. Working class. They're not talking about black people who work. They're not talking about Latin people who work. They're talking about white people who work. Historically, that's what that means. When they talk about you, they're going to mention urban people of color. When they talk about you, they're going to mention black, the Latin vote. You feel me? You're not a part of the working class, no matter whether you have a job or not. Look it up. Don't listen to me. That's what they're saying in the news media, but it's all coded. And they will sit there and tell you, I'm not racist. Then why'd you just say focus on white people and not people of color or black people or gays? You just said focus on white people and not the woke. Aren't the woke everybody too? Aren't the woke, beneficial for shit? Or is it just working class white people and rural people that you're talking about? Listen, it's coded, but it's English. And you should know what they're saying instead of what they're trying to make you think it is. Know what it really is. Okay? That's the facts. And that's all I'm going to give you is straight facts. With no chaser. And if it's deeply rooted in facts, I care about your feelings. But if your feelings are deeply rooted in lies with no foundation of truth, fuck your feelings. Because I give a shit about what you feel when what you're talking about ain't real. It's a figment of your imagination. Why would I give a damn about a figment of somebody's imagination? It is a dream. It is a hoax. It's not true. So why we care about it? But if it's true, like white women and other women dying because of this Roe versus Wade being overturned, that was a real thing. And we gave a fuck about it. You see, we voted for it 80% and 91 or 92%. We gave a fuck about you. More so than your own people. White ladies. More than your own people. Black people cared about it. Ask yourself why. It sure as fuck ain't economics. Because if the idea is, I'd rather more women die so that I can have money in my pocket, that says a lot about the culture, doesn't it? Anyway. Old school throwback race says, we live in a racist country. Oh, yeah. About what? Why are all these files in here? Focusing on black women, they're always right. The same neck beard, whatever, talking about your body, your choice. I saw that. Your body, my choice. Woo, that was just terrible bamboozle. Paying for cable, it doesn't matter if you watch or not, they still get paid. True. Don't listen to the says they made up Trump normal. I don't know about Bernie. The 4 black pastors run out of town. I ain't know nothing about that, Uncle Fatty. It's crazy. I'm just reading some of you guys' stuff. 3-word chant. I don't know. That's not still. Oh, lock her up. Yeah. 3-word chants. Anything that's kind of repeatable, real quick, they do. Like I said, I'm stepping out for a minute, and I'm going to try and figure things out. But we need a plan. And like I said, it starts with those of us who've been leading. And another person asked me in one of my lives, I think on TikTok, they said, what do you think, other racists should do? I said, I think y'all should regroup too. Shit. If you really want to come down and help as a group, we all need to regroup because we all coming from different perspectives. One of my things I look at politics this way. Every last one of us in our communities have issues that we need faced or even fixed. And if we don't come together, let's say it's a white community, not necessarily like it's racist or nothing like that, just a white community that, let's say everybody's good people. And there are things they need in their community. They may need a bridge. They may need the other things. There's no reason why we should not be able to, as a country, to be able to take care of that community that they may need. The roads may be fixed. The city and state can take care of that. Anything federally that needs to be done, parks need to be taken care of, national parks, whatever it may be. We should be able to say they should get money for it. Why can't I help out that community? In the same vein, my community may not have a park. My community may have old, dilapidated buildings. Then there should be investment into our community to build homes that are affordable for the people living there. You should not have a problem that if we're going to give millions of dollars for your bridge, they should be able to give millions of dollars to build nice homes that they can live in and not in the street that they can work for, or create an industry in that community. Let them bid for an industry to be put in their community so they can get hired to be able to afford the community in which they live in. Why can't we think like this? Why can't we get into our silos and figure out how we can help each other in our own individual ways? Why can't we do that? Why is it always mine, me? Why can't it be we? Greed is a motherfucker, man. I'm sorry I cussed. They're going to take this down, whatever, but greed is crazy. But greed is horrible, man. It's gonna destroy everything. We need to figure out how we can work together and make this shit work. If something's going good in your community and you need something in your community, we should be able to work on it. It should not compete with me. One year you get a bridge, the next year I get it, depending on the state, whatever. If we need a bridge, if our roads need to be taken care of, our roads get taken care of by the city and the state. We should all vote for everybody getting their roads taken care of. I mean, it's the minimal. And quit telling me there's not enough money. If they had enough money to give everybody in this damn country PPP loans or give you a stimulus check, they got enough money to make this shit happen. You feel me? All these, I don't even know and to be honest, I don't even know where all the money's going for all these lotteries we have. They're supposed to be taking percentage of it and putting it toward the states. We need to audit that because I don't know where the money's going for that stuff. I really don't. We need to work on that too. Our community needs to know where the money is and how it's being used. Because I truly feel we're being taken. We're being divided so that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. And that says a lot about us. We're not prepared to give our people, our kids, the absolute best in their future because we're not focusing on what's happening right now. There's been so many cities and states that have gone broke because the people who are managing them are managing them horribly. And we find out about it once they're broke. They had to have been knowing about this long before then. But anyway, we have to work on these things, and it starts with us. It starts with us making better choices for ourselves, and coming together and figure out how we can do better choices for individual communities. But there needs to be solutions, there need to be strategies, and we need to stop relying on politicians to determine how our lives are supposed to be. We need to give them the plan in which we've made and watch them implement them. Not wait for them to finally give a fuck about us. That's the way I see it. But anyway, 1 billion schools was told to us we need to heal. Yes, we do, Margaret. We really do. So, like I said, if you want to, to leave, stop and follow me because I'm focused, on black-centric stuff, then fine. Just know I ain't got no ill wills towards you. I just know there needs to be a strategy, And I can't benefit no one. When white people ask me, what can I do? How can I tell you when I haven't come together with a lot of black people to get a lot of answers? I can't tell you. I can tell you what I think, and I'm tired of just thinking of one person's idea of what it's all about. Black people need to come together in a large group to be able to give each other options and solutions, things that have worked for them, things that they think will work politically, things that work for their communities. And then we can come back and get a coalition. Seeing as how we're the face of everybody else's problems, we need to figure out how we can solve ours to be able to help you solve yours. That's the way I see it. That's the way I'm going to work with it. That's what I'm dedicated to do. So, check me out. I'm about to get up out of here. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you for the gift being local. I remember seeing you give me a gift. I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier. If I didn't say it, if I did, I said it again. But thank you guys for supporting me. Tell everybody about me, if possible. If you want to support me, I do have a Cash App. That's it right there, Mr. Straight Facts. You can tell people to follow me as well. And that's right here, Mr. Straight Facts, or Straight Facts No Chaser. And I'll keep doing what I do, keep coming out, letting y'all know the facts without the feelings involved. I may show some feelings, but it's all about the facts, though. Let's keep on going for. Turn it off, my bad. So that's what I'm going to do and continue to do. So I'm about to get up out here, guys. Much love to y'all. I'll see you the next time. If you like old school music, I'll be doing that on Friday. On Wednesday on TikTok, I'll be doing Mental Health Day. So I work on mental health. We meditate at the beginning and end. And in the middle, we actually watch a documentary or something about mental health. Something that when I grew up, I was never taught about. And trust me, we need it. We need it, especially in the black family and community. We need it because there's a lot we're working on and working with. And it's hard to do it by yourself. All right? So that's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Wednesday. You can follow me on YouTube, on TikTok rather. That's Mr. Straight Facts 23. They stole my other account. But it is what it is. I keep it moving. Much love to y'all. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you when I see you.